shout out sooner rather than later because I won't know. Here, let's take a look at some of this.
If only I learned how to leverage AI with Edmund Bogen, I could have been somebody.
Okay. Might be a little dramatic, but I always like that.
Man, this sucks. I should have used the Edmund Bogen team at Douglas Elliman. Man.
Okay. We're just going to go through just a few of these things. Here we go.
Edmund Bogen hosts a mastermind on AI in sales 6 times a month. It will absolutely change how you sell real estate.
AI is the future, and nobody demonstrates the rapidly evolving technology like Edmund Bogen.
Edmund Bogen is an incredible business coach. You need to try his mastermind.
It's free to try, and you know what? Edmund's clients make money.
See how AI can advance your business. I'm not real, but if I was, I would try Edmund's mastermind and group coaching for realtors. So what are you waiting for? We already said it's free to try. Click the link to find out more. Edmund Bogen hosts a mastermind on AI in sales 6 times a month.
Here we go. So, you were able to see just some of that. That was from a technology brought on by Google called Veo Three. You're going to be getting notes on this afterward. I don't know where the hell Aton is. He's going to be giving out the workbook in a little bit. You should have gotten the workbook in the download. If you don't have it, Aton will be back here in a minute to pass that out again. I apologize for his tardiness, but he will get the workbook to all of you. And in that, we have all sorts of resources that you could use, and as well as links and ideas and prompts and all that stuff. So it is something to follow along with. And when he comes in, he should be here in a couple minutes. He'll be able to send that out to all of you for those of you who have not gotten it. But
he just sent it through WhatsApp.
He just sent it through WhatsApp. Fantastic. If he sent Greg, do me a favor. If you could take the link, Greg's a brother here. If you could take the link and put it into the chat. I don't know if that's possible if your WhatsApp is connected to your computer. If not, I will. Give me a second.
I'll give it a try.
You giving it a try? Okay, now it looks deleted. I don't know if it's there or not. Well, we're going to get you the workbook in just a few minutes, so don't worry too much. But the videos that you just saw was done with a technology called Veo Three. Veo Three is produced by Google. It is really quite a remarkable technology in that they finally synced both sound and video together to produce something that really works and works well. That's the good news. The bad news is, depending upon how you buy it, it could cost several $100s a month. Now, let me hear a bunch of people go, boo. No? Nobody's working with me? Okay. But here's the good news. I'm going to show you a technology where you could get it extremely reasonably. Now, the videos that you saw, I estimate cost about $1.75 per 8-second video. Now, you might be saying, wait a minute, $1.75 for 8 seconds is a very big cost. And I would argue that it's not. We're getting now to the point where you've got 8 seconds of something that is very close to film quality. And depending upon how you prompt it, you're going to be able to discover some great ways of using it. There is a technology, again, this will be in the workbook, called Genspark. And I'm going to go to it right now and share it with all of you. Remember, I told you a few minutes ago that it costs several $100s a month. Well, Genspark actually is the answer to that. Genspark is a Chinese AI that aggregates all sorts of agents. Now, if we take a look at the different agents that it has, you could see that it's got all sorts of tools that you're able to use. If you want to make resumes, if you want to make business documentation, if you want to make videos. So I could do something just this simply. You guys are going to be pretty blown away. Actually, let's get something for, let me pick on somebody here. Let me just see who's out there. Who wants to help me out and make a video? Who wants to give me a couple suggestions?
I'm down.
Greg's down. Okay, Greg was first, so Greg gets in. You see how this works? Greg, so I'm going to say to Genspark, using Veo3, please make an 8-second video of, now it should be Greg, before you give me your instructions. Here's the thing. It should be a little bit of a dialogue. It should be visually interesting. Okay? Don't say like a panoramic view. I can get that from a lot of different things. I want to show something where somebody's actually talking. It could be a bit tongue in cheek. It could even be dirty. I don't give a shit. But whatever you want, let's hear it.
Oh, you want me to define it?
Yeah. If you have an idea.
Um, Something specific about historic Charleston. Um,
Okay.
there you
Historic
go.
Charleston. Did I spell that right?
Almost Leston, South Carolina,
Charleston,
because there is another one. Yeah.
Charleston, South Carolina. Um, a
And
man,
why?
I'm going to do this. A man dressed in uh, what year? In clothing from
1920.
1920. And I'll say scene set in 1920. Okay. What else?
Discussing why everybody should live here in 8 seconds.
Explains why people should live there. Give me some dialogue. You know, what does he say something like um uh let's see.
Warm and welcoming, warm, welcoming, and hospitable population.
Yeah, we'll get a little more interesting than that. I want to make it personal. Greg, spell your last name.
Coggins.
I want to make Greg Coggins. Okay, how about this? In 100 years, Greg Coggins will sell you the perfect Charles.
You have it.
Yeah, Charleston. Yeah,
Leston.
I'm not saying it very well here because there's so many things on my screen. Charleston home. I highly suggest you use him. Okay, so we could do that. Now, again, we didn't put too much thought into it. This thing is going to think about it and it's going to go out and take a few minutes. They tell me that this is going to cost me 800 credits. And again, a credit is about $1.75 on Genspark. And that's what he's going to do. It's going to go out and it's going to now there. It's starting to create this. So we'll leave that there. We don't have to just stare at something propagating, and we'll be able to talk a little bit more about putting these things together. So that's Genspark. Genspark is now able to put the stuff together. It puts that video in there. How does this relate to real estate? Well, from Greg's standpoint, he's going to be able to have this video and put it up on social media. And right now, today, for the next couple of months, this is going to be great. People have been reacting to stuff. Indeed, I got a listing appointment and I got the listing, Mazel Tov, because I was able to get someone's attention. They thought it was very creative and they said, we are thinking of selling our home. And lo and behold, I can trace a listing exactly to one of these videos. So whatever I spent on the video means nothing to me because it's a $2.5 million listing and life is great. I really love that. That is only going to go so far. I know that. A lot of other coaches will lie to you about that and say this is going to be just the future. Bullshit. Everyone's going to be making videos like this. I'm hoping that you're first to making videos like this. And for right now, you're going to be able to get some quality stuff that's out there. But what if you want to do more? What are some of the things that you might be able to do? Well, you made the perfect video of your home. I'll give you a scenario here and of your listing. And you want to do some cutaways of historic Charleston. You want to do some cutaways, meaning you want, as you're talking and explaining, you want to zoom in and show various things going on. AI fills the gap quite nicely. Now, I say this in every single meeting. Please check your local laws and check with the Realtor Association to make sure that what I just suggested isn't breaking the law. It's not here. You're able to do that, provided that you're not misrepresenting something. You're putting basically addressing on this video. And I think we've got Greg's video is ready now. Let's take a quick peek here. Let's see what we got. Okay.
In 100 years, Greg Coggins will sell you the perfect Charleston home. I highly suggest you use him.
Okay. So, Greg, you like that? Sort of? You're muted, Greg, but okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. So I'm going to get that over to you today, Greg. I'm going to send that. You see how that works? So now somebody may or may not love that. You know, Greg may like it or not like it. The point is, we didn't do anything. Let me just show this to you, in full screen again.
In 100 years, Greg Coggins will sell you the perfect Charleston home. I highly suggest you use him.
Okay. So what's interesting is it's historic, but if you look at this guy over here, I don't know if I could zoom in on him. He's in blue jeans. This guy down here, if you look closely, so you could see the flaws here, but somehow it still works. And by the way, it only gets better and better. Let me just get rid of that. Okay. So that's one thing that you're able to do with Veo Three. That's the technology. Let's talk about a couple of other technologies that are out there. One of them, and Nicole said it's like Back to the Future. Yes, Nicole, you are not that far off. It is very much like Back to the Future. Incidentally, the workbook is now on the chat here. So if all of you kind of click on it, it is sort of important that you download it and have it. I think that we do put a lot of information in there that you can use. So there's other technologies that we actually use as well. One of them is called HeyGen, HeyGen. HeyGen is where you get some of these video avatars where you could actually clone yourself and be able to make an explanatory video of a property. Let's say you are not that let's say you think you're a little shy. Let's say you're just not into it. I'll be the bold one to say it. There are more people who are afraid of public speaking than are afraid of death. It means if somebody's giving a eulogy, he'd rather be the guy in the box than the guy giving the speech, okay? People are really scared to speak. And one of the things that I showed last time, which I will do again, is share with you something we had. This is one of Eitan's friends, the bar mitzvah boy, absolutely terrified to give any kind of speech. He just couldn't do it. So what Eitan did for his friend was he actually made a virtual avatar of this kid, and this is what they came up with. Let's show you. And it's in both Hebrew and French.
שלום לכולם. אני כל כך שמח לראות את כולכם כאן הערב בתל אביב כדי לחגוג את הבר מצווה שלי. תודה לכל מי שנסע מרחוק, בין אם זה מהצפון, מהדרום או מחול.
Okay, so that was in Hebrew. Now let's see him in French if I'm able to find which one that was.
It's the same one.
Shalom, tout le monde. Je suis tellement heureux de vous voir tous ici ce soir, à Tel Aviv, pour célébrer ma bar mitzvah. Merci à tous ceux qui ont voyagé, que ce soit depuis le nord d'Israël, le sud ou depuis l'étranger. Votre présence rend cette journée encore plus...
Sorry. The point that I'm making with it is this will actually give you an advantage in almost any language. You want to market yourself to South America in Spanish or in Portuguese, you can do that.
So just to make
I'm going to get you in a second, Michael. Go ahead, Eitan. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay.
So the recording of the voice was done in one language, and then we were able to use the same voice in many different languages, which is exceptional.
So depending upon where you want to go, Eitan, do you know how many languages HeyGen utilizes?
I don't want to be presumptuous, but I would say all.
All major languages. Yeah, well, it did Hebrew. That's not a very common.
At least over 100.
Yeah. So you've got certainly. I'm just curious because I'm thinking about Michael. I want to make something in Greek for this guy. Do something about my good Greek. Michael, you had your hand up. Can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself and go ahead and ask your question?
Hi, I'm Michael Varoukas. I actually was scratching my palm because I'm thinking of all the money you can make doing this. So it's kind of funny that I was not raising my hand.
Oh.
But what you've done and shown me has been amazing. I'm in commercial real estate and logistics. We move companies, and that's what we specialize in all across the country. So I can see this also having an impact on companies that are moving into Southern Florida with regard to taking space in Miami and Fort Lauderdale and Boca. I think this can be very helpful to what I'm thinking of using it both in logistics, shipping, and in warehousing and FFE work, which is we receive furniture for hotels and we deliver and install all that stuff. So there's a lot of that work here, and there's a lot of South American buyers and foreign buyers that I don't speak the languages, and this certainly can help create a little interest for sure.
Sure. Well, that's good. And by the way, again, just to give the plug for next week, next Wednesday, 23 uses of ChatGPT that you may or may not know about, one of which is translating. The other one is also researching documents and contracts and all that. So we're really going to go through all of that and have one great workbook for you. So Michael, I hope you can make it to that, and I hope all of you can make it too.
Make time for it for sure.
Okay. That's good. Other questions? I don't want to just be the only talking head here. Ferris Bueller? Anyone? Nobody? Suzanne? Andy? Scott? Nobody. Okay. We'll go on with some more little tips and tricks. There's another tool that you should have in your toolbox. It's called Captions. Now, the Captions app, well, I'll show you just some of the videos that I've made using Captions as well. Let me just pull it up here. Here we go. Give me a second. So the Captions app, once again, allows you to clone yourself. And you could just take a look. This is AI Ed. I'm trying to find a good one that I actually made here. One that's going to resonate pretty well. Well, let's try this.
Want to tap into a gold mine most agents completely overlook? Start leveraging relationships within your own brokerage. Top producers get up to 35% of their business from colleagues in their office. Agents needing vacation coverage, help with overflow clients, or referrals outside their specialty. Tomorrow morning, walk into your office and ask your broker this simple question. Who has listings that need additional marketing support? Then offer to create social media content, host open houses, or provide showing coverage. In exchange, request permission to add these clients to your database for future follow-up. This isn't taking advantage. It's creating win-win collaborations where everyone benefits, including the client who receives enhanced service. Start with 3 colleague collaborations this month and watch your business grow without spending $1 on advertising. Want to tap into a...
Okay, so a little bit of tearingness and movingness and all this. The Captions app, if you have the iPhone, again, I don't know about the other ones. I believe that it's available on all different apps. In fact, they must. But I downloaded it for the iPhone. I'm paying about $24 a month, and that's it. And it will put a certain limitation on the number of videos that you're able to make. But once you follow the step-by-step instructions to make a video avatar, you can then use it forever. And in different languages, by the way. Don't like the way you look? Have a low self-esteem today? That's fine too. You're able to use one of their avatars that they've actually pre-made. So if you'd like to go ahead and use something like that, you can now begin to incorporate that into your marketing. I'm going to get you in a second, Greg. But Ed, what content am I going to use? I don't have any content. Bullshit. You got tons of content. There's content everywhere. And in fact, I'm working on a program. I spoke with Evangela about this before. I'm working on a program that I'm going to make available to all of you. I believe you're going to be able to use it 5 different times per month. It does cost me money when you get into what's called the API, application programming interface, where you're going to use my computing power to put in your bio, some recent news, and whatever else you want. And this will then spit out about 20 different social media posts that you're going to be able to rip off and use for yourself. Anybody find that kind of cool? No? Maybe? You want to use? Okay, Suzanne's giving me a little applause. Come on, guys. I've got a low self-esteem today too. I kind of need this a little bit here. Thank you, Michael.
Depend,
Thank you. Michael's a
depends
sweet.
on the pro.
It's look, you know what? I'm not one to have anyone bullshit me. If you guys like what I do, that's great. I'm making a whole suite of applications. I wake up in the middle of the night with an idea and I start programming. And we're introducing this stuff to you guys. If it sucks, tell me, because if you think it sucks, other people think it sucks, and I'd like to not make it suck. I'd like it to make it like kind of cool. Greg, go ahead. You were asking a question a second ago.
I was just wondering whether or not Captions was available for a laptop.
Yes, it is. It is. So I highly suggest you get it. All of these, by the way, have a free version. So you've heard me say this in past meetings. Eitan, Suzanne just put in, she doesn't have the workbook link. Would you mind putting that out for everyone once again? Again, it's important enough for in the chat. Just nod if you hear me. He's not even nodding. Yeah,
Yes, it's in the chat.
Okay, good. Good. So can you put it back in the chat again?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So, Greg, sorry.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Okay. So, so yeah, the Captions app does come for the desktop. It comes for your iPhone. It comes for pretty much everything. That's a great thing. So what have we gone through? We've gone through HeyGen. We've gone through the Captions app. We've gone through Veo Three. There are tools happening every single day. In fact, if somebody came into this meeting and said, "Wow, Ed, do you know about XYZ?" The answer may be no, I don't. And I'm depending upon you to let us know so that we could go out and research it and get this thing out there. We're constantly working on trying to come up with what the next mousetrap is going to be. Here's a sobering statistic that was put out by OpenAI. The technology that you're using today in AI is going to be obsolete in 8 weeks. 8 weeks. That's how quickly this whole thing is working, which is why we've really focused this mastermind. Obviously, we're primarily for realtors, so that was our origin, but we're really focused on the massive change that is coming to all of us, that we really have a certain reality that we need to face. I've spoken to you about my daughter who's studying to be a journalist right now, not the career that you want to have in 5 years, regrettably. And she's a smart kid. She was a 4.18 grade point average in high school, and she's just a great kid. She will find something to do. You know, I don't think that it's all doom and gloom. What I am saying is that all of us, myself included, will need a very different set of skill sets over the next year. I'm not even going to say several years. It's just coming that quickly. So I want you to all think about that. Question
And
it.
how do you exceed the 4.0 average? I don't get
That's
it.
what I didn't understand that either. You know, she made the dean's list. I always said I was on the dean's list, but it was the bad list. You know, when they caught me smoking pot, that was the list that I was on. But you know, that was okay. Not even a child. Good. I got Marlene smiling there, so that was the good thing. Okay, what else? We've got another tool called Runway and ML, and I'm going to pull that up in a minute. Give me a second here. Just talk among yourselves. And Runway is let me go to the dashboard here. Runway is much cheaper than these other technologies. It's not as robust, meaning it's not going to be as great as Veo Three, but it still serves a purpose, and it still serves a purpose for you. And we'll just take a look at what that might mean right now. So let's see. How about we could just start with a very simple conversation. Make a video of a golden doodle, the greatest dog ever, running. Okay. So now it's going to create the image first, and then they can animate it into a video. This also works on credits. I don't know if you see up here, they've got little credits that you're able to buy into. Guys, I spend your money very carefully. I really do. So there's certain things that you could use. Okay, so that looks like a golden doodle here. Now, what can we do? So to create image first, then animate it. would you like to modify the image first or animate it now? I'm going to say, please animate now. Okay, so we have 45479 in credits. Let me see how many credits he uses. Okay, so 5454. So it's, I guess 25 credits it uses, which works out to be 15, 20 cents. I mean, it's not a terribly big expense. But again, there's no audio on it. But this could be just what you're looking for when you want to make outtakes of your, for your properties. Okay, a little fake. Not so great. Not so great. I wasn't so pleased with that one. But I think you get the point that what you need to do is tinker with these things. If anybody came here expecting a perfect video each time, it just doesn't work that way. What you can get from this is, is to be able to iterate through and slowly make it better and better and better. Nicole Hudson, please, you have your hand up. You need to unmute yourself though.
Yeah. Hey, question on Genspark. Can you download like a data dump like we do in Claude and it would create a video based on it?
Can you say that again? Can you do a data dump?
Yeah. Like how we do on Claude, and usually it'll create a chart, but on Genspark, would it create a video?
I think, I don't know if a full data dump would actually do that. A summarization of what you might.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, Eitan, explain.
It's able to do exactly what Claude does. Yes, you could download, you can give it like a huge file in a CVS and it will process that.
Okay, to make a video of a data dump?
A PDF,
Okay.
Excel, CSV, any one of those data points will work.
Basically, the more descriptive you are, like let's go back to my dog example here, and then you could probably learn from that. If I could just see where the heck everything is. Okay, so we got the dog. Great. So now let's do another thing. Please create an image. And yes, Greg, I will mention why I say please. Of somebody give me an image. Come on, guys, please don't be shy. Somebody speak up.
What, an animal image?
It doesn't matter. Just describe a situation here. You could just look around your office and describe something.
2 men working to hang up some cabinetry.
That's great.
That's what they're doing.
Okay, describe the scene. Like, want to give a little bit more of a description of.
They're scared of a spider.
That's accurate. You said that's accurate, especially in Florida.
They're scared of the spider. What else? Give me some colors. Give me some colors in the room.
The cabinetry is neon silver blue.
Okay. Describe the guys. Thin, fat, tall, short. What are they looking like?
One gentleman is an older, experienced man. The other man is a younger trainee. Although I think he's more than a trainee because he's laughing. He's got a Yankees hat on, so he's got attitude too. Oh, he's the brains of the outfit. The old guy's just hanging around here.
Finally smart enough, maybe a little.
Has less experience and has an attitude.
Full tool belts.
Full tool belts. Okay. So that's enough now. So now you see we added more context and the AI is going to draw from that. And some of it might get right and some of it might not get right. Now this is a lot. I don't know how they're going to interpret that they're scared of a spider. They should get the colors right. When we say older, is it older like me, 57 versus a 25-year-old, or is older like an 85-year-old versus a 2-year-old?
No, it's older like me. I'm a little older than you and a younger guy. So a 65-year-old and a, let's say, 25, 30-year-old.
Well, so this is what the AI did, and they made them Chinese, I guess. Take a
But there
look.
it is.
And
There's
one of
the
them's a little
spider.
bit older, and the whole thing looks odd. Oh, there's a spider. Hold on, there's a spider right there. You know what? I'm going to animate this anyway. Please animate this. It's a pretty crappy image, to be honest with you.
But it's pretty quick.
If you have something, it is pretty quick and it's cheap enough. And once again, you're a buddy, so fuck it. We'll pull it in here. If you start to get into the greater details, and that's where your descriptiveness comes in, and that goes back to what Nicole was asking before. Can you do a data dump? Yes, you can. The more descriptive you are with certain situations, the better it is. You might put something into AI saying, can you describe this for the purpose of another AI making a video? Okay, let's see what happened with these guys. Okay, so they're just kind of lame, kind of lame. Didn't work out as well as I wanted to do. Why don't we do show a ship on the ocean in a storm? Now, what kind of ship? It will say a tall ship. That's a sailboat. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with that. The AI you'll learn does certain things pretty well. Like, for example, this has been in kind of public domain, a lot of images of ships and storms and stuff like that. So my feeling is it should probably come up with a better image. And I could also say, please animate this. So I've got that all ready for when this comes out. Again, this is called runway.ml. Okay, so now it made this really like Captain Hook. Please animate this ship as it sinks. Let's make it sink. So I could have done a super tanker. I could have done a speedboat. We could have done just about anything. But once again, this is not a terribly big expense. And the more you use it, the better and better it gets. The better and better you get at understanding the prompts, which is why I want you to be the kids that took the toaster apart. I want you to be able to tinker with this stuff. So let's get going here. Okay, now let's take a look. Looks too cartoony to me. Now, it didn't even animate it. Sometimes that happens. Let's try one other thing. Make a shot, an image of the tide rolling in on the beach in East Hampton, Long Island. So now again, this is going to draw upon the knowledge base that AI has been programmed with of that. And I'm going to say, please animate the waves. This should make it a little bit better. You'll get the hang of the prompting as time goes on. And you'll realize that, again, the computer just does what it does. There's something, okay, so that looks like the Hamptons. Okay, so far so good. Let's take a look. And I just said, please animate the waves. So let's see what this actually does. I apologize, but I encountered an issue. Could you please try your request again? Yes, yes. Please. Okay, so the generation is queued. It's going to take a minute here. I'll get you in a second, Greg. Actually, I'll get you now while it's generating. What's up, Greg?
Can you, and maybe you just answered my question, can you, as it creates, can you say, okay, now go back and put some people walking down the beach?
Yeah, I mean, again, with this particular technology, it's much better that you come up with a very strong image. Now, let's say you have a picture, and I did this for an agent that I'm friendly with. She said she never had, her mother died when she was young, and she had a family picture of them. Um, and she never had any videos of her mom. And I animated a shot of her and her mom, and it was almost perfect. And I gave it to her, and she burst out crying. Um, I made sure that she wasn't angry with me because, again, the last thing I want to do is put anyone through something that's traumatic. But she was so grateful that she actually had this manufactured image that she would have never had before. Okay, once again, it's saying that there was an image on there. For some reason, there's an image within Runway, but I'm going to show you a couple of other things that I've done here in a second. Just give me a second here. Oh, this was kind of cool. So let me just show this to you. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so does everyone remember, again, I don't know if everyone's old enough to know. Does everyone remember the crying Indian? There was a public service announcement years ago, Keep America Beautiful. So they had the crying Indian.
Yeah.
So this was done in that spirit where this Indian was on a horse and there's all this garbage out here. Again, it's slight movements. It's not like the other stuff. It was also Generation 2. They've come up now with Generation 3, and you'll be able to see more and more stuff. Again, the movement is very subtle. But depending upon what you're doing, that might be just enough. You might not need, if you have like two women laughing at a cafe and then you zoom into your own property, that might be the perfect thing for what you want to achieve. You just need to decide what you want to achieve. Now, editing. How do you edit these things? There are a variety of tools that you're able to utilize to edit video today. I use something called Final Cut Pro. On your iPhone or Macintosh, there's another program that comes with it bundled already. So iMovie comes with it. I understand that Windows has also their movie maker. Again, I'm not a Windows person, but for those that might be, you could chime in on about how well it is. Most of you just need that. You just need to piece this stuff together, and that could be enough. But I would make this argument, if you start to take this a little bit more seriously and start to get curious about the technology that's out there, I think you're going to do very, very well compared to what a lot of competitors are doing. Today, right now, what you should do, go to Genspark, get yourself a free account, buy some credits on it if you can. Think about something. It doesn't have to be that tough. You could look around. Again, golden doodle sitting here. I thought of a golden doodle. I'm looking at Marlene right now. She's got Bichon. What is that? Maltese?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she's got her Maltese. So you could do golden doodle and Maltese playing in the field. I mean, you could come up with anything that you want with that, or get a little bit more specific depending upon what you want to do. You could also make these videos where you'll put stuff on the screen talking about, like, maybe you want to show a hurricane, and you could put out your hurricane preparedness guide. If any of you want a copy of my hurricane preparedness guide, please send me an email. Again, we are in transition looking for new assistance here, but you could send me a message to Edmund at Bogen Homes, and I will send you a copy of my hurricane preparedness guide. And then you could rip it off and duplicate it. You could put your own name on it. You could send it out to your clients. Holy cow, now you're somebody that's actually concerned for the clients. Yeah, Kenny in California, earthquakes, an earthquake preparedness guide. That's great. Mazel tov, we love it. Where's my Canadian? Maybe there's some Canadian thing. I don't know.
Fire preparedness too.
Fire preparedness, whatever it might be. It could be the tax season guide. In November, we're going to be getting a tax bill for our properties. And they say that you get a 4% discount if you pay it by the end of November, and then a 3% discount if you pay it by the end of December, and a 2% discount, and then you're late after 4 months. Again, that's how they want to market it to us. You could come up with the perfect thing for the clients. Let's just use content as a means of creating your value. That's what I really want to see all of you do. Okay, so that's it. Again, next week, we've got this great thing. It's getting back to the basics, 23 uses for ChatGPT that you might not have considered before. How to detect a liar. I'm going to do a full episode on that at some point, but I'm going to go through an overview of how you ever get an email from somebody, say to yourself, is that guy totally full of shit? This is what that meeting's for. That's what that prompt is for. We're going to show you what to do about that. We're going to talk about making social media posts out of content that you might have just generated. I'm also going to be introducing my app pretty soon that, again, all of you will have access to be able to utilize. So we've got some great stuff. You're going to also be able to use ChatGPT for translations. We were talking about translations. That's a very big thing. You could use ChatGPT, obviously, for listings. I don't need to go through that. I think all of you are already using ChatGPT for generating listings, but you might not know that you could take an image of that listing, put it into ChatGPT and say, can you please describe this image? And then save it. It's the master bedroom. Please describe the next image and then save it. And then you can put all those descriptions together along with your words and say, can you please write a great description about this property? And it will do it. So if you are someone who doesn't think you've got a lot of words, if you do have a lot of words, you could do that much more. If you don't have a lot of words, you now have a content machine. Finally, subscribe to the bloody thing. It's $20 a month. You got $20. It is just worth it. I mean, again, I spend your money very, very carefully. This is one of those tools that you really need to do. Eitan, you put this thing up here. Would you like me to run that video?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me just get this together here. Oop, hold on. And this is something that Eitan made the video. Scott, I'm going to get you in 1 second, I promise. Eitan made the video and I made the audio. Again, all of this was with AI. Here we go. Come on. Okay.
Press play.
Trying to.
La nuit s'efface comme un vieux refrain. Le chauffeur sourit au coin du chemin. Les rues dordent encore, mais nous sommes vivants. Dans l'Uber qui file vers le soleil levant. Oh, cette balade au bord du matin. Les éclats d'or qui dansent sur nos mains. Un moment si simple, mais tellement divin.
Okay, so that was, let me just get this off here. That was,
Nothing is real, but it's fairly close to the reality.
yes. And what if Eitan wanted to do, Eitan lives in, let me just get that off. Sorry, guys. Okay. If Eitan wants to do a great video about Welcome to Portugal, Eitan lives in Lisbon. He could do the same thing, go out, show various scenes of Lisbon. Greg could do the same thing with Charleston. And if he makes, again, this were, I guess, 6 or 7, no, it was about 6 8-second videos times, let's say, $2 a video in Genspark. I mean, that was the more robust video maker. So now we spent $16. The audio came from something called Suno, suno.ai, S-U-N-O. And you can make any song you want. I could make, we're going to be going through some of that as well. And we could say, make a promo for Eitan. Eitan's your Lisbon agent. And put that out there and show this remarkable broadcast quality. It might take a little while, but I just did it for under $20. That's what I mean by it being a bargain. Now, Scott, I know you tried to talk a couple of times and I kind of got ahead of myself. Scott, do you want to unmute yourself and say hello?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Where are you, Scott?
At the moment, I'm in Brazil.
Oh, cool. But where's your marketplace?
Puerto Rico, And then I split time with Chicago.
Great. So what's the question?
But I've got a couple of videos that I need to translate, and I can, in a roundabout way, get a text file of the audio. But I'm thinking that, and it's just kind of a quick question, what's the quick go-to for that? In other words, it's a short, maybe 10-minute video in English that I need to translate to Portuguese.
Is it on YouTube?
Could be. Yeah. You mean for the text file?
Let me show you something. And again, we're going to go through this in next week's meeting.
HeyGen can do that.
Yeah, HeyGen may be able to do it, but also if you don't want HeyGen, you probably have ChatGPT. ChatGPT has something called GPTs, meaning people have made their own version. They've made like their own. They programmed ChatGPT to do very specific things. This one is called YouTube Video Summary. And you could actually transcribe the entire video using this as well. I'm going to put this into the chat for you to play with as well. So ChatGPT can take a video and could actually transcribe it for you, I believe. So once you have that actual transcribed, you could then translate. It's just a two-step process.
Right.
And Aton also has the point that HeyGen is another tool. And Scott, if you have an issue with it, give me a buzz. Again, I've not done that specific thing, but I know that it can be done. That's the thing, guys.
I translate to Portuguese all the time.
Okay, so there you have it. You can contact with Aton. Aton, why don't you put your information in there? Please, 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 let's connect. You follow me on Instagram and follow me on YouTube if you can. All you need to do is search Edmund Bogen, and that will come up. And if you have ideas, definitely let me know. For those of you who are guests, we are going to ask you to subscribe. There is some great benefits of this, not the least of which are the new apps that are coming up, the workbooks that we do, the one-on-ones. We want to launch next quarter a quarterly review with a limited number of you. So it's going to be a group coaching session for up to 4 of you for an hour, where we're going to be able to sit and be able to discuss what your quarterly business plans are and be able to help you work it out. I'm heavily leaning on the AI because I know all of you are thinking of it, and I do believe that this is so important for everyone. But please do learn from this, do take this, and wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time in the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. I just picked up a new listing here. Again, I did it as a direct result of AI, which I think is pretty cool. I did it as a direct result of my AI video. Somebody actually approached me about it, and we talked, and now I've got their listing. So this stuff does work. That's my brag today. Who's got a want, a need, or a brag?
So I have a need.
Okay.
When you sell that listing by using your AI videos, come back and show that to us.
Show you the sold?
The sold, the videos. Why don't you do a video of the home and have AI enhance that?
You certainly can. And you do. You can also do, I think I mentioned this in previous meetings. Anybody have a listing with a green pool? None of you do. None of you have ever had a listing with a green pool. I'm sure I'm the only one that's had that. Well, you could take through these tools now. You could virtually stage it and make it blue and pristine. Again, check with your local laws about what I just described. Are you allowed to do that in your area? Do you need to mark it as virtually staged? I don't know. You need to check that out. But all of the stuff is stuff that you can use. And I think that all of this just makes us a little bit better, a little bit smarter. And by the way, if you don't do it, you're going to be run over by a locomotive in the next 18 months. There, I said it. You got to get good at this stuff, guys. I mean, and good news, we're going to be with you every step of the way. I think that it's really not that tough. I think it gets very exciting. And I think, ask yourself and ask around the office, how many of you are doing this right now? If you don't believe me, go ask. Nobody. You're going to be the first ones. Everybody wants to be the first kid on the block to have the new toy. Come on, let's do it. Okay, anyone else? Terry, are you able to? Terry's there. Terry's been hiding the whole meeting. Terry, you got a want, need, or brag?
Okay. Me and my family bought a house back home in Kansas City. I went back home last week. Sorry I wasn't here, Edmund. I hope you still love me.
No, we've been on the meeting waiting for you to sing us out. Greg is like, needs to go to the bathroom, so hurry up here. Go on.
Well, you'll be able to uncross your legs now, Edmund. I did a week of contracting work on this house, a skill that I used to use to full advantage when I was much, much younger, when I was 25 instead of when I just thought I was 25. And it felt so good to work on something and see the fruits of your labor, like at the end of the day. I sheetrocked a whole living room and I don't know. It just felt really good.
Good. Real manly work, right?
Yeah.
I have to ask, how did it feel the next day?
Well, I wasn't going to talk about that. I have a major subscription to Aleve and vodka. So it wasn't as bad as I thought. The thing that has happened in the industry is that there are now tools as opposed to having to use a 2x4 to hold a piece of sheetrock in place. There is a machine that you put it on and you crank it up and put it in place. So it's a lot less of a toll on your body. So
okay.
I don't know. That just felt really good. Give me another 3 months and we'll have this on the market and I'll be able to share pictures and all
Please, please, guys, brag about your success. Go onto our website, call Terry, call Greg, call Jonathan, call Michael, there's everyone here is extremely nice. And by the way, people do exchange deals and leads and everything back and forth with one another. If you want a copy um, of our membership map, we have a Google map. If you don't have it, please send me an email again, Edmund at Bogen Homes, and I'll make sure to send it out to you. And again, if you want to know more about subscription, Eitan's put that in there. We do ask if you've visited this group that you go ahead and subscribe, as it is fair to everyone else who is a part of this now. Guys, thank you so much for coming today. I'm so grateful to all of you, and I look forward. Oh, and Terry, Terry's with me, right?
I am with you, Edmund.
I missed you a second ago. And Terry, do you have anything to say?
Ed, you gotta play the Instagram video.
Which one? Which one?
No, you don't see it? Hold on.
You texted it?
It's 3 o'clock. Hold on.
Just tell me where it is, Eitan.
It's in the chat.
I see summary. I see, please send me an email.
You know what? It's in a private message. Damn. Okay,
I'm not seeing
main chat. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Are you sharing the screen? Oh, no, you shared it with me?
Okay, here we go.
The anticipation. Oh.
You've got to share the screen, Eitan.
Here we go.
Oh, that's it. Okay, hold on a second. Give me, oh yeah, I think, Eitan, this was shown, had you been to the meeting on time, okay, you would have seen this, but because you were fucking late.
Okay, show it again.
Okay, here we go.
If only I learned how to leverage AI with Edmund Bogen. I could have been somebody.
Come on, that's hilarious.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Guys, okay, Terry, you ready?
I am ready.
When Terry says that he's ready, it makes me look at all of you and say, it sure was great having you here today. I look forward to seeing all of you next week for another exciting episode of
Rain Nation.
Mazel tov. I love it when Terry does that. Otherwise, we'd have to stay on the meeting all week. Greg, you're allowed to get out now. Guys, good to see everyone, and I hope to see all of you next week. Thanks so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Ed.
Bye.